Hello everybody, welcome to another fabulous Facebook Live. It feels so strange being dressed in all summery things but talking to you about Christmas. Well, Christmas is just round the corner for those of us that craft because we can never craft early enough. And this week I'm going to be on Create and Craft with Two Red Robins, so launching in the US and then in the UK. We've got something very special for you at the Highlight Crafts website. So anybody today that buys anything over £20 is going to get a free gift, and we've got a couple of things on there that are not available anywhere else, so I'm going to show you those because I've got the lovely stag and I've got the birdhouse, but I've got a quick demonstration for you to share with you some ideas that you can be doing, look at those, that you can be doing with these collections. So a really big warm welcome if you've just joined. So many of you have been joining us every single week, and it is such a pleasure to get to know you all. So first of all, I thought I'd share with you a couple of ideas. So this is one from the full collection, and this is our Christmas offering from Two Red Robins. Now you could of course change the robin that's available in the collection to these two robins that came from Field of Dreams, and I'm going to be sort of doing a little bit of a mix and match, because if you've got Field of Dreams, the winter scenes work perfectly with these designs, and you can see how that little bit of extra snow in the background makes it really wintry. And if I were to change the branches or the actual fence posts that I've got, and let me just find some of those that are covered in snow, you would get to see just how different it would all turn out. So here's my winter fence posts. So these are on the Highlight Crafts website, but look at how that would change this into a truly winter scene. So today I'm going to work with the main collection, and I've got quite a few pieces already cut out in a demonstration for you. But I've also got another one here that shows another one of those winter scenes. So if I just open this one up and I take it to the side, and I'm just going to lift over here, again the fence posts, and you can see the robins looking out from the fence into the city, and we would literally, to turn that into a true Christmas design, swap out with those snowy fence posts and make it something really special. So the winter scenes are all part of the winter collection, and of course you will find all of these elements on Create and Craft. So let's build ourselves a card and have a look at some of the different options that we've got. So I'm going to go back to this original snowy winter scene. It's really quite pretty. It's very soft and it's very, very delicate. And look at some of the things that we could be doing. So I could be literally putting my birdhouse to the side and then taking just the little robins that I've got and putting those to the side, so you can see how we're building up that scene. And maybe even a little bit of greenery at the top just to finish off the design. But it very quickly, that winter scene gets turned into a Christmas card. So I'm going to start by actually assembling some of these elements, and I'm going to glue the scene onto the card. Now for this, I've chosen to just put a small 1/2 centimetre border all the way round, and I've already got my tape on the back. So a couple of little tricks. Some people may already do this with their card making, where you pull back the sides of the tape. Now if you are going to pull back the sides of the tape to help line it up and get it straight, then I make a point of going to opposite corners, because it then gives me these two corners to be able to use to adjust it so I can lift it off without it sticking. So let's check that positioning. I'm also going to make sure the card's opening up the right way. So check that so that I've got it absolutely perfect. Once I'm sure it's right, I can catch down that corner, and then when I pull these out, I know that I'm perfectly positioned. So, gosh, that's one of the few that I've got absolutely perfect for a very long time. So now I've got my wreath. So here's my wreath, and I'm going to pop this onto the front of the card. And what I've done here is I've taken the foundation die, or we call it our, gosh, and everybody's shouting at the TV in a minute, but this is the base die. So what we've got is we've got the base die, and I've got that one down, and I've done that because I want to break up the distance and the design and the pattern so that we get a very clean break between it. And now when I look into it, it looks like this image is much, much further ahead. So hello, if you've just joined us, everybody. It's really good to have your company. Now, by putting the wreath over the top, it really frames the design. And it's quite nice the way with this image, it actually, the trees just sort of come into it and fill that space that we've got here. Now, if I'm doing this with the collection that I've got on Create and Craft, I'm going to be filling the design with these fabulous poinsettias and some foliage. And really the middle is where the story is. But for me, I think our finishing touch comes here. And this is one of the dies that's only available on the Highlight Crafts website, which is our home of our red robins. You can see there we've got the birdhouse, but then we've got the houses in the background. Love the effect that that's given us. But I'm going to move this one out and let's look at one more option we've got. And that's taking our stag. And he sits there. And again, do you know, although we've got the houses in the background and that little bit of foliage, it still works with the design. But it works even better when I do this. So let's take those elements away. So you can see now I've got that stag sitting at the front of my card. I'm putting in some foliage up here. I'm going to bring my icicles across the top. So the larger one, then the smaller one, and then the larger one again. So just letting those go off the edge. You could take them all the way along the top if you chose to, but I quite like it just with the amount of detail. And then I'm going to bring this design into the side so that we've got all of those elements just literally framing our Christmas design. So when you're building your Christmas cards, it isn't just about the central image, it's about how we frame it. You can see we've gone from using icicles and that foliage to our wreath that gives us that extra special look, changing the inside to our birdhouse, which again, another look and feel. I really feel it wants to sit over to the side. And then choosing, if we want to fill in the foliage to really maximise the amount of depth and dimension we get. And how about we take those little icicles and just have them hanging from the bottom of the birdhouse. So we get that extra little bit of detail that we can have just there. So we're really building design and composition on this. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to do as part of this Facebook Live. And I know this one's quite short and we're trying to gauge how long you want to sit and watch for. So please tell us, how long would you like these to be? Do you want them to be 10 minutes or 15 minutes? Or would you like them to be a little bit longer? Thank you if you've just joined us. We're reading all of your messages. So I promise at some point in the future, I'll be able to say proper hellos to everybody. And don't forget, if you buy anything over £20 on the Highlight website, then you're going to get a special free gift. Now, the free gift is a set of the wallets that we use, and those are the ones that are our storage wallets. It's a set of 10 in the small size, and that offer is only available for 48 hours. So please don't miss out on it. And if you're outside that 48-hour lead time, then that offer won't be available. So let me just share with you a couple of other little tips that I want. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to take the back off this card. Now, the reason that I'm doing that is that quite often when we are making our cards and we're sending them through the post, particularly at Christmas time, we are working with our best quality cardstock. So 300 GSM would be the favoured card. So by taking off the back, before I start putting things onto the front, I've immediately halved the weight of my card. So I'm halving the weight, and that actually then is giving me potentially a lower postage rate because we pay by weight and size. But this obviously isn't going to stand up on a mantelpiece. So I'd like to just quickly share with you a couple of quick ideas on how you can make that work. So one of them is using the full width of the card. And then the next thing that we need to do, and I'm just going to go to my craft mat to make this happen, is just score the piece of card along its full width. And to do that, I'm making sure that the card is straight and level, and I can just score like that. If you've got a scoreboard at home, then use your scoreboard because that will work perfectly. And on this one, all I'm going to do is very carefully just take a diagonal line up to this panel at the top, like that. So that would become our card stand. And then we turn over the card, and the important thing is that this score line here is in the centre of the back of the card, and it's going to sit and support the whole of the depth of that. So when that's stood up, and I can literally, I haven't glued it, but that is working, the whole thing is standing up. It's leaning against the back of the card itself, and you can see how that gives you a really vertical design. So if you want your card to stand properly vertically, that's the technique that we use. However, if you want it to lean back a little bit, I've got another one for you. So the first thing you do here is you fold this piece of card in half. So it's the other half of the back of the greeting card. Then I fold it back on one side, turn it over, and fold it back on the other. And it's important that this is level. So once we've done that, we've created a concertina. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to trim off this bottom. So the first thing I need to do is make sure it's level, which it isn't. So I'm going to trim that level. And then I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit off the back of this fold line. So if I open it up now, you'll see where the V is. And that will allow it to lean back slightly. Now, the deeper I cut into this, the more it'll lean back. So I'm just going to cut it a little deeper so you can see what I mean. And then you'll see how, again, take this and it leans back even further. And what that then does, and then these two wings need glue into the card, but this then allows the card to be at an angle. So you can see there's the angle. So if we want to go vertically, you'll get the best results by going straight up and going to the top of the card. If you want to lean back, you get the best results by actually having something that is stronger and wider and leans back. And then, just to finish this off neatly, I would just do a little curve at the top there. And that then makes it look aesthetically much more interesting. So there are a couple of little tips for you on how to actually have your cards freestanding. And of course, with both of these, they fold flat to go in the post. So however you do your Christmas cards, and we'll be seeing lots more of them, send in your pictures, let us have a look at them. We'd love to have them in a gallery. And I hope you'll join me, not only on Highlight Crafts and more of our Facebook Lives, but join me on my own Facebook page. And of course, don't forget to visit us on Create and Craft as well. So stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.